Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by TJS Ceramic Studio, Posh Boutique in the Bridges at 57th, The Sky & Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire arts and entertainment conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
It's 2 until 2. The 200th episode is just 2 weeks away, and there will be some surprises, such as, well, you'll just have to listen. Meanwhile, thanks for listening today. Whether you're streaming or downloading, it is greatly appreciated. Now, before we get into our regular format here in a few minutes, thank you to all of you that took in last week's show despite it being abbreviated due to a nasty virus, and thank you for the well wishes during that time. Also, thank you. Regrettably, for the second month in a row, I have sad news to pass along in the Sioux Empire arts and entertainment world. Last month, when Amy Morrison passed away, we had time to prepare, knowing her decade-long battle with cancer was coming to an end. That didn't take away the hurt, but we knew it was coming. But the news Tuesday morning that my good friend and confidant Brian Shipper died in an auto accident the night before, devastating. Brian was one of my favorite guests, having been on this show 6 times. He was one of those that picked up early what I like to say often, that it's always a pleasure. And he would say that to me sometimes before I could say it to him. We had a tradition. Each time I was at one of their performances at the Mighty Corson Art Players, of which he was the managing artistic director, we'd slip out and go next door to the bar that's next to the theater and have a shot. Our toast to a good show. Brian, you always were a good show, and I have the feeling you will be up there too, buddy. Godspeed. Today's show features local photographer Adam Jungers talking about reflections and textured photos. Then we hear from Headlights Theater's Maddy Elliott, Mary Rogers, and Quaba Ernest. Their final show of the season is this Saturday. All of that coming up. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show. Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day, and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party. Whatever you're drinking it out of is all going to be dependent upon when you happen to be listening to the Weekend Eve Toast. But no matter what it is, raise them high to the official start of fall this Saturday morning. I believe officially it's 2:50 a.m. It's my favorite time of the year. I love the colors, I love the crispness, and I love the apple crisp. And I also enjoy nights that aren't so blasted hot that keep you from enjoying your fire pit. And another great part of fall, I look damn good in a hoodie. The Weekend Eve Toast is brought to you by The Sky & Tea. The Sky provides all-caps fun, and that is best had with friends. Have fun playing darts, shooting pool. Have fun listening to great live music from local musicians. Have fun singing karaoke, pretending you are one of those great musicians. Need some extra room to hold a company party? You got a benefit going on? The Sky's back room fits that bill. No matter what's going on at the Sky, it's local and it's lively. Honorable mention. All right, so what put a smile on Dave's face this week? Or made him laugh, chuckle, guffaw, or even have a little tear of happiness? Well, the honorable mention going out to that Monday night trivia crowd at Chasers. They were back in full force this week after a 2-week absence. First took Labor Day off, and the bar was closed on Labor Day. Then my being under the weather the following week. But they have become very loyal and supportive. And the best part, you can join the fun. You see, Dave Holly Hour Trivia is on Monday nights at 7 at Chasers, and we always make room for more. Later on, we hear from Headlights Theater members Maddy Elliott, Mary Rogers, and Quaba Ernest. Coming up in just a bit, photographer Adam Jungers on the Dave Holly Hour.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics, inside Oscar's Mini Storage. We have thousands of classic vintage ceramic mold items and several new items too. TJS Ceramics offers classes, special open studio nights, and completed ready-to-purchase items. Bisque, studio time, or painting parties are available. Visit TJS Ceramics Studio in person today or email tjsceramics@gmail.com for more details.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
Time for more arts and entertainment talk on the Dave Holly Hour.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, yeah. You realize I'm going to say it in one form or another at the beginning of each conversation. It is always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment. Always a pleasure to have somebody new on the show as well. Adam Jungers, how are you?
I'm great. It's fun. It's really cool to be here. It's really awesome.
Great to have you. Ran into you. Actually, I think I'd seen you a few times with some of your goods, but recently you were down at Van Arts Art Studio and having a nice show there. I saw some really cool stuff and got interested in it. And a lot of it because, well, if you go back 40 years, I wanted to be a photographer. Mm-hmm. And here you are. You're doing the photography, and you're doing something really unique with it, too. In fact, you brought some. Obviously, it's an audio podcast, but it's still, it points out what art can be and what it can be to so many different people. You have, some great landscape type things. You got some trees. You got the Arc of Dreams from downtown Sioux Falls, but they're textured. Mm-hmm. And so you can actually feel them. And you were talking earlier before we started that this would be very good for visually impaired people. Yeah. And it even made me think of the movie Mask that Cher was in. And the boy had disfiguration. And he goes to a camp, and there's a gal that's blind at that camp. Okay. And she didn't know what red and blue were. Okay. And so he heats up a rock and puts it in her hand, and she goes, he says, that's red. And then he did an ice cube, and that's blue, So, it's great how you can communicate in so many different ways. So I want to start here already with the texturing part. How does that get done?
Magic.
Okay.
I take my photos to Fast Signs, and so originally I was actually sent there, recommended there for another reason, because I was gonna tint this piece of glass so that it was very reflective, and you could reflect and see with a lot of my art with my pickup. I do reflections, but I wanted to get it into smaller spots, but I can't bring my pickup there in the smaller areas. So I was like, I need to branch out. I need to learn more. I need to do more of this stuff. And they recommended this place, Fast Signs, to me, and they were showing me what they're, some of the stuff that they could do. And then I saw that they showed me this this dog that was textured. And I'm like, oh, I have something
Got to
for
do
this.
that, huh?
I'm like, I will be back for the. I was like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, this will be cool. And I sent them some photos, and they're like, oh yeah, we can do this. This will be cool. Wow. And they did them, and they just turned out so well. It was so cool. And I'm just very excited about it.
Now, had you done a lot of prints on canvas prior?
I have not.
You have not? Okay,
I have not.
Because, that's one of those that, that's become, very favorable for the average person taking a good photo.
Yeah.
And they, can now get a canvas print of something and it just classes it up. But this is going even farther.
Yeah.
And so this is just a great process. Whatever they do for their magic there, I love it.
It's cool.
It's very, very cool. What got you into photography?
So, fun. Interesting thing about me, I'm colorblind.
Okay.
And I'm not necessarily I'm not completely colorblind. I see color, but I don't necessarily know which ones.
What is this? Right.
And I love the sunset. I love the sunset. The sun rises. They're so cool. They're so pretty, and they're so colorful. I was like, I like that. I'm taking pictures of that.
Yeah.
And I started doing it. And, it was about 10 years ago, and I had, we started to get camera or phones with cameras on them or whatever. And I started taking pictures with them. And now that I've actually had an artist paint one of my shots of the background of my pickup. Yeah. It's actually at the Jones 421 building.
Okay.
If you go there, it's a collaboration, and it's really cool.
Gotta go have coffee at the source.
Yeah. Exactly. It's really cool. But that's kind of how I got into this photography world, and I've been branching out since then. Not like a whole lot, but I've been branching out, and I saw the reflection of the sunset in my pickup. I was like, oh, this is cool. But you see, I was like, well, I'm not getting it very well because I look stupid when I'm in the reflection of my pickup.
You got to learn a few tricks.
And exactly, you got to learn a few tricks. And I went by the side of them like, oh,
and that changes the perspective
without
too.
me in it. This is cool. And so I started doing that, and it just turned into this really cool thing. And
because basically you have a series of that, don't you?
Yeah, exactly, very much so. And I really enjoy seeing what I can do with and it's a unique way of doing it. The background or the reflection in my pickup is just a very unique thing that not a whole lot of people really appreciate,
I don't know if I told you the night that saw you down at Van Arts or not, but the reason that I have purple and orange for my logo colors is because of a time before we had any cameras on phones, and I missed the shot then. I was, it was, 35 years ago maybe? It's a long time ago now. I was calling a 9-man football game up in Hayti, and they have a lake right next to their football field. And it was that perfect South Dakota sunset. Oh, yeah. Like 7 o'clock in the early to mid part of October, and it was reflecting off that lake. Now, here's how powerful of a picture that was to see just in nature, because I had no camera with me because I was in radio. And we didn't have the phones with the cameras on them yet and so forth, but I have never forgotten that image. And so if you come across some really beautiful purple and orange sunsets, I'll be in the market. Always looking for that stuff, but it's fantastic. And so you've really gone more so the nature route with yours then, haven't you?
Somewhat. I do really like the ones with the reflections in my pickup. It's more like a mix. Now, I do a lot of nature shots, and especially with these, the nature shots, and the nature shots turn out really, really well. Now, with the Arc of Dreams in there, that's like a mix of them, and that's really cool. And I really like those. Or the one you saw before with the Arc of Dreams and the reflection in my pickup. That one is also really coal. And I need to show you. I actually need to show you some of the newer shots that I've got of it.
Okay,
it's really
Look
cool.
Forward to it. And how can people see your shots?
There's limited access to that right now.
Okay.
I've got some of them down at the Jones 421 building.
Right.
But I still have to. I want to print out more. Or what I really should do is get an iPad or an Amazon Kindle,
right,
and just be able to flick through them.
Yeah.
And say, hey, do you like this? Hey, this is really cool. I got to show you some of these shots.
Yeah, you can put your portfolio on a device now.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which would be really cool. And another thing about it is if I show people several pictures and they go, oh, we really like that one, I might have it, I might have to do it in this if I can, or I might have to print it out in the other version of those shots, or of some of those shots that you saw the other day.
All right. So do you have a Facebook page, or do you have an Instagram or anything?
I do have an Instagram.
You have an Instagram?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Adam.Jungers.
Okay. And spell Jungers for us.
Jungers.
All right. There we go. So Adam.Jungers. All right. I got to get on that because we got to show people what this all looks like too,
Very much so. Yeah.
And it's just fantastic. I love it. And a lot of that's, because I'm partial to photography.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also very partial to just good art and what all the different things that make art. And it's always so fun to run across somebody and go, hey, you want to be on my show?
Yeah,
So
it is cool.
we can talk about it and tell people. So, quite often when I have a musician on,
mm-hmm.
especially if it's a guitar player, I will ask the question, all right, so how many guitars do you have in the house? You kind of started late on the whole photography thing. So where are you at the number standpoint right now? How many cameras?
One.
Just one. Wow.
And see, most of these shots
Uh-huh.
are done on my cell phone.
Wow.
Yeah. These come out really, really well on my cell phone. And they just come out so well. No, I did just recently buy a camera. This was within the last 3 months that I bought a camera. A really a decent one. And
Canon, Nikon,
Canon, Rebel is
Canon
what it
Rebel,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't really learned all the tricks of the trade with it.
I know.
I was actually out last night getting the Northern Lights, and I did get them.
You were reading my mind.
Yeah. But sad news, everyone, I could not get them in the reflection of my pickup.
Dang.
It was sad, but I still got the Northern Lights. It's really cool.
So you did get some then?
I did get some.
We were out on the west side of town and left. I hosted trivia, and we left that about 20 after 9, and we walked outside, and it's like, I don't even see a star. It's so cloudy. I don't think because I am so infatuated by wanting to see the Northern Lights.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see. So, I mean, like how it works is, you don't necessarily completely see them with your naked eye, but you bring up your camera and you see them. I could see a little bit of them with my naked eye, which was really cool. And I plan on seeing them again because they're awesome. And there were other people who had shots way better than mine were. I need to also learn more about my camera and my phone to really get the best depth.
Get those exposures.
The exposures, the really good shots. And I also need to learn Photoshop. That's the other thing I don't know. I don't know Photoshop. I need to learn that too.
Do you have any inkling to get retro on any of this stuff? And actually get like a 35 millimeter camera or anything, or just sticking to the digital? And
I will probably just be sticking to the digital.
Well, and it's great that that's available now. That's amazing because the quality that somebody can have out of that is just amazing. I sit there and go, wow, that's a pretty good shot, and we weren't even trying.
Yeah.
But I guess the one thing that, because I grew up on that whole 35 millimeter and had my own darkroom, the whole works and so forth, is how you learn about the f-stops, the aperture, and correlating that with the timing and the, shutter speed, all of that, and how that kind of becomes, I think one of the best examples I've ever heard is it's like having a hot faucet and a cold faucet, and you're twisting the two of them to get one stream that's perfect. Mm-hmm. And so I've always liked that analogy of it. And but you still will undoubtedly on the Rebel be learning some of that.
Yes.
Yeah, because I've seen some of the manuals for that camera, because I have an old 35 millimeter that I picked up recently. And so it's like, okay, cool.
I've made mistakes with it.
we all do, yeah. But, that's a great thing about digital now is you don't have to necessarily go in and pay for, 3 36 exposure rolls.
Yeah. That
you've got your 100 pictures, and you can go, just get rid of that, and you narrow it down.
Well, you see, the other day when I was really trying to kind of learn my camera, I was taking pictures, and I didn't think about why they weren't showing up in the LCD screen. Like, well, I didn't think about it at the time, but afterwards, once I was trying to put them on my cell phone, I'm going, oh no, these are all dark. These are all too dark to see. I had them on the highest setting or lowest setting or whatever it was. These are all useless. Oh no.
What's the shot you're looking for? You said you want to get some more, obviously, of the Northern Lights, especially if you can get a reflection into your pickup. That'd be awesome. But is there something that's out there that you go, one of these days I got to get there and get just the perfect picture of this?
So one of the other shots I'm looking for is lightning bolt in the reflection of my pickup. That would be really cool. I tried to get it a couple weeks ago, and it started to rain, and I had already been trying for like 10 minutes, and I'm not a patient man. I like the now, the here, this is the shot. And that's one of my faults. I'm not patient. And I didn't get it, and it started raining, so I'm like, oh crap. But you see, that evening I got one of my other goals, which I still plan on trying to get a better shot of it, but of the rainbow in the reflection on my pickup. I did get it a little bit, but not. I mean, it's kind of seeable, but not the full rainbow, which is what I really would like. But I still got some really cool shots that night. And it's not a regret of mine that I didn't get it completely. It's still really cool.
So when you started on this photo journey, I should say, were you thinking, hey, I actually think that I'm going to be able to become an artist this way? Or was it all of a sudden you started taking some shots going, those are cool. This is an art form.
It was the latter.
Okay.
I had been taking them for a long time, and then I started going, these are really, really cool. Yeah. These are amazing. I should get out and do some of this. And that's kind of, it was before then that I thought of doing that. But then I ran into DJ McCullough at the Source, actually. And he said, hey, do you have some art that, we can paint or we can do? And I showed him one of the shot that's down there at the Jones building. And he goes, yes, we can do this. This will be really cool. And it's turned out really nice.
Excellent. And so what size do you like to print in?
I really, really like to print in this. I know this is audio, so I can't.
Right. Yeah.
We need a tape measure. That's like I want to say 11 by 11. More than likely, it's probably square.
Yeah, it is square. I always had one right there. Where did it go? I would say at most it's 12 by 12. But yeah. Well, it's very great though. I mean, it's and that's kind of interesting in and of itself because We mostly are taught when we start taking pictures of, we got to get everybody in this thing and we got to go, on the horizon. And then you eventually start going, maybe I should take some shots vertically. And here you're going to the square. That's unusual.
So I had actually, when Fast Signs asked me, what size I wanted, I just looked at their example. I said, that one right there, that'll work just fine. And we'll see. And it was just really a test, and the test worked out really well. The 4 shots that initially had worked out really, really well.
So what were those 4 shots?
The ones that you had seen at the Van Arts studio, the tree with that amazing sunset behind it, the tree with the halo, the sundog around it, what is it, the Arc of Dreams in the reflection, and then there was that I don't even remember what it is right now, what it was. It was something to do like that. But that's what it was. It was the art building, the Rayfeld Art Center. Within the reflection, the building, and then in the reflection of my pickup, which was, I really like that one too. That's really cool. And I've got a couple other ones where I park my pickup there and do that same similar shot, and they're really cool. It didn't start out to be, my thought wasn't a series of these, right, but it's just turned into that because I really like those shots, and I will keep on keeping on doing them, and they're really cool. And I know I've been repeating myself, really cool, okay. Yeah. But that's what they are. Very cool.
Yeah. So do you get to take the pickup as a tax deduction?
I haven't tried that yet. That has been one of my thoughts, but I have not tried that one yet.
Well, I got to have this for my work. I got to have this for my side business here, because I would try it. I'm that type, yeah. Anything that's close. Well, I had to put my microphones into a case, so I had to have that. It went into the car, so we
yeah.
It's all part of the transport part. Oh my!
I'm going to also use my the gas I use.
Well, yes,
everywhere.
You definitely have to do that. Yeah. And especially then, that's one of those that you might not even be thinking you're going to go out and get a particular photo, but you're driving along and go, "Ooh, that's cool. Got to get it."
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's always the fun part of photography. You never know where you would want to have a camera. And as you said, you've got a lot that are on your cell phone, but you do have a nice camera that you're in the process of learning.
Learning.
Wow. How many pages is that manual? That's a pretty steep one, isn't it?
I have not looked at the manual.
Oh, my. Yeah, well, I have one for one of my audio programs. It's 452 pages. Yeah. Lots of reading.
Yeah.
And boring reading in many cases.
So the place that I go, instead of looking at the manual, is YouTube.
Right.
For that kind of thing.
And that's a great thing these days, too.
Yeah, so handy.
I do the same thing when I get stuck on something. It's like, okay, just YouTube it. There we go. Yeah, so you've got that. So that's going to help you out, too. And then you're moving on how quickly to Photoshop?
Not very.
Boy, there's a lot of great stuff out there, though, to make a picture truly be that 1,000 words.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think of that so often when I take a look at a picture. I don't know where the phrase originally came from, whoever said it, but they were spot on. And then, your 1,000 words will be different from somebody else's 1,000 words about it, too.
Oh, yeah.
But great stuff. So tell people once again they can view some of it on your Instagram.
I have. I just recently started that, and it's at Adam.Jungers on Instagram. I just recently started that, and I haven't gotten everything up on there, but I do plan on, as I keep on taking photos, I'll keep on ingesting them and pushing them up to Instagram. And if you want to, give me a like, give me a like whenever, if you like them.
True.
Because I do enjoy, I enjoy interacting with people. And if they want to comment and say something, I will definitely interact with you.
Are you getting any commission work? Anybody come up to you and said, hey, I like what you do. Would you possibly be able to get this?
So I've heard that from one person.
Okay.
And I gave them my card, and I have not heard back from them. But that's okay, because that's how business works.
True.
You just got to keep on keeping on and trying.
Right.
And I haven't been at the Jones building very often lately, but I do plan on. I have to get more cards, and actually I have to get my Instagram on there too.
Yeah.
And I have to go back there, because there's a lot of cool things that I have that I need to push out there.
Yeah, very true. All right. So I always like to end with 2 questions. How you answer question number 1 might determine whether we have to ask the second one. When you are not part of arts and entertainment, what do you like to be entertained by?
I do enjoy good movies. Great, like old movies, Indiana Jones movies, or or
that's his name, Henry Jones Jr.
My name is Sean Connery. Or The Matrix. That was a really good movie. That was a really enjoyable movie. Now, there's a lot of great shows out there. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Community, they all come to mind. And I enjoy, being around my siblings to watch these with me, because we all banter back and forth and say other references from other shows, and we keep each other laughing is what we do.
That's the way to watch a movie, no doubt. All right. Any other hobbies then?
Hobbies, I try to keep active. I try to go on the bike trail every so often. I'm trying to keep on it once a week, but it's just not working. It just has not worked this summer. Trying to I do work out all the time. Try to do it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but it just doesn't always work that way. But definitely Wednesday, Thursday, I work out.
All right. Well, we're glad you're working out with the camera, too, because it's paying off. It's fantastic work. Again, you specialize in a texturing of your photos, and just amazing. And so many great applications for it, too. So, Adam Jungers, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking some time to be on the show.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Thank you very
You're quite welcome. And we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Comedy magician and hypnotist Jesse Moffat's right. He can't play the piano, but he can sure entertain crowds with his amazing magic and clever quips. His shows always make the participants the stars, especially when they've fallen asleep on stage. They've been hypnotized. Are you the party planner in your group? Then you owe it to your group to make the event magical, even if it puts you to sleep. Here's how.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffitt Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment. 605-334-1463.
Funny, engaging, connected. He's the entertainment reporter for Sioux Falls. Here's Dave Holly.
Welcome back, everybody. Yes, I'm just going to say it right out of the chute because it's in my mind every time to say it is always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire, arts and entertainment. Always a pleasure to have a returning guest, and always a pleasure to have first-time guests as well. We've got a mixture of that. In fact, we've kind of got a triangular type thing here because Maddy Elliott, you have been on a few times before to talk about Headlights Theater, and you bring with you from New York Mary Rogers and Quaba Ernest. Now, Mary, though, is an interesting tie because you're originally from Sioux Falls.
That's right.
Yes, so we get a double duty out of you then, don't we? And Quaba, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Glad to hear that. And so what part of New York do you live in?
Brooklyn.
You're in Brooklyn. Oh, okay. A 991? Or is that what the show's called? Brooklyn 99 or something?
I don't think I know that show.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, another successful year for you, Madison.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness gracious. And you got your last show this weekend now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Season 4 finale.
Incredible.
I know. I have a 4-year-old business.
And hopefully we're all past all that COVID stuff, although it's returning in some form apparently now. Yeah, not real fond of that. But you started it during COVID,
yes,
as a way to have people out and about to at least see some quality entertainment. And not just have to sit there and binge something on the tube.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
Yes.
And you just keep going with this. So what is different now from when you started?
Well, for starters, in 2020, all of our shows took place in parking lots. And the audience watched from their cars. And their headlights is what shined the stage. Now, fast forward a few years, Headlights has an entire administrative team, and we're able to put together these really high quality performances, and now people can mingle a little closer to one another, step outside their cars, BYOC, bring your own chairs, and we have our own lights lighting up the stage. And not only are we still transforming parking lots, but we're also transforming other areas within the city. So our last show was at a skate park, and our next show we're closing down a street, and it'll take place on an open street. And we're also
not letting the cat out of the bag. You're still going that same route of we'll tell you like an hour beforehand.
So this one is a little different as well. We are partnering with a lot of different organizations for this show, so there's a lot of moving parts, and we're collaborating with Let's Skate, and we're hosting a block party with them.
Fun.
The event starts at 1 p.m. The open skate, block party, food, drinks, good vibes, games goes until 7. And then there'll be a small transition period, still good vibes. And then the show starts at 8.
What can we expect out of the show?
Good vibes. Good vibes, fabulous dancing, an incredible musician. Just a lot of love, a lot of joy, and hopefully bringing a lot of people together to experience something that I don't believe Headlights has done yet, and I don't believe Sioux Falls has seen yet.
We look forward to it then, because it's always innovative, whatever you bring. So, Mary, you're originally from Sioux Falls. You're out in New York now.
That's right.
Had you already known Maddy?
We actually met in college. It turns out we went to the same university in New York, and that's kind of how we initially got connected. And then Maddy found out I was also from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, so invited me to join during the first season.
All right. And what do you enjoy about being part of this?
For me, the thing that sets the Headlights shows apart from other things I've been a part of is just the collaborative nature of the construction of our material. It really is a nice space where everybody gets to have their own input and create a vision of what happens in the space.
Quaba, what drew you to this?
Maddy, actually, we also met at SUNY Purchase, and this is actually my second time with Headlights Theater. The first time was about 2 years back, and I think I was really drawn in by the sense of community in a time where there wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously you enjoyed it enough to say, hey, I'll be in it again.
Of course. And I'll probably be back as many times as show.
There we go. I was going to say, is she a tough sell? Or is she more the soft sell?
She only wants the best
or
of the best.
I just want to work with good people. Like, talent is one thing, but if I enjoy hanging out with you at night and I think you're a good person from like the core and we share the same morals, then like that makes your talent even more astronomical. And so for these two, they're very fabulous, talented dancers, but they're also fabulous, incredible humans.
Thank you.
Oh, sweet.
No.
She is.
Same
isn't
to
she?
you, Maddy.
Goodness. What got you started in dance, Quaba?
I think looking back on it, I think it's something kind of like you have no autonomy over. My parents kind of put me in it when I was like 3, 4. I was too young to protest to say, take me back home. And, maybe by the time I was a teenager, I was really into it. And I thought I was going to study science instead, but at the last minute, ended up picking school for dance. And here we are now.
Yeah, and I'm guessing since your parents got you into it that young, that it wasn't any big deal for you to say, hey, I want to be a dancer.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess when I was younger, I was dabbling in a lot of things, some music, some sports, some art.
Yeah, because, sometimes a child will be growing up in a particular situation, and it's like, well, you got to go to college, become this and that. And then they say, but I want to be an artist of some sort. And there's this kind of like, oh, really? Yeah. But, obviously support of parents and support of the artistic community around you is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. My dad is a musician, so he's big on the arts. And my mom wanted to be a dancer when she was younger, but the island where my family's from, St. Lucia, there's no arts, ballet programs, so she would just see commercials. And when she moved to the States, she was like, my kids are definitely gonna
be doing different things, and have that opportunity. So, Mary, how got you into dancing?
Similar to Quaba, it was just one of those activities I was in as a kid, along with other sports, but dance was the one thing that kind of stuck for me. That was the one activity I was in that I chose to keep doing and pursue.
What does dance mean to you?
Wow, that's a loaded so many question. Things. I would say at the base, a form of expression. I mean, my love for dance, I would say, isn't something I necessarily choose every day. It's just kind of inside of me, a part of me.
Quavo, how about you?
What does dance mean to me? I guess this is tough to answer, but I guess freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom of expression, choice, lifestyle.
It's become such a cliche of dance like nobody's watching, but you guys take that to heart, and then you do make it available for everybody to watch. That's what's so great about it. Maddy, when you first started dancing, what did you think you were going to be doing as a dancer?
Well, so when I first started, I was very young. My parents put me into dance because I had too much energy and they didn't know what to do with me. So that's how I started, because I was a child with ADHD and they needed me to calm down. And then it just kept happening and kept happening. And I guess I always had this dream of being a professional dancer and having that be my full-time job. And I thought it was going to be this glamorous life. News alert, it's not. But I love what I do constantly. I'm really lucky that I get to have my passion be what I do for my work.
Yeah.
So did I know that this is what the life I was going to live? Absolutely not. But I do think the life that I'm living now would have made little Madison in a dance class really, really proud.
Very happy. Yeah.
Which I think is something I constantly need to look back on days when dance is not the easiest.
On those days then, Mary, what is it like because you said you don't necessarily always get up and it's dance, but how do you push yourself to continue to be the professional?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think in any sport or art activity, you really learn a lot of discipline. So I would say, yeah, on those days, maybe I'm not super excited about going to rehearsal. Let's say it is, it's a job as well as a hobby. So I think it's the discipline and yeah.
How often do you guys get together and rehearse?
So that's something that's a little interesting with Headlights, since we all have very different schedules in New York and a lot of different jobs. Also, in terms of the funding that Headlights has, we put these shows together the week of the show.
Wow!
So they got in last night. I got in a few days ago. Our first rehearsal was today, which was about 4 or 5 hours. We'll do it again tomorrow and on Thursday and Friday. And then the show's on Saturday. So we have about 20 hours of rehearsal time together to put together a 50-minute show. And so it's a sped up process.
Right.
But doing a sped up process like that allows us not to second guess ourselves. And it allows us to not get stuck on those little moments where we can just overthink, but really, we have to trust our intuition and our instincts and trust that, like, oh no, we're professionals, we are capable. We'll get it done, go back in, clean things, and trust that whatever we've made is high quality.
Now, do you do all of the choreography when it's group stuff?
Yeah, so it's extremely collaborative. When I was making Headlights, I really wanted to create a company that was non-hierarchical as much as it possibly can. So when we're in the rehearsal space, everybody's voice matters. If somebody has an idea on what we do next, speak it. There's no stupid ideas. Right. And we'll give anything a try. So it's not a me thing at all. It's everyone who's in the room has an equal say.
And then are there some solo numbers as well that they choreograph on their own then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also some moments of improv.
Okay.
So a little game that I know a few of the Headlights people who come a lot, who constantly attend our shows, they play a game of, like, is it improv or is it set? Because it's about 50-50.
Yeah. And it's always such a great thing to take in. And, it's nice that you have your own lights now and the whole works.
Yep.
There was quite a romance about that whole headlight thing.
Yes, and it is coming back. We haven't gotten rid of it. We just want to see how we can expand our lights. That was so cheesy. Yeah, and not kill the car batteries.
True, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Quaba, what challenges you as a dancer?
Oh, wow. What challenges me? I guess currently, I'm coming back from a bucket handle meniscus tear.
Oh,
knee surgery about a year ago. So right now, everything challenges me.
Right.
But prior to that, I might have said consistency, like showing up for myself consistently at my full capacity every day. And with now being so far from what my full capacity originally was, I now have to show up every day to even get back to the place I left off at. So
yeah, how long was rehab on that? Besides still going on, really?
I guess it's still going on, but I could have had the option to just take the meniscus out and then I would have walked the next day. But I chose to leave it in and get it repaired, which was like 6 months to start moving again.
Yeah.
So like I was in like a wheelchair 2 weeks, then crutches a couple months, and then like slowly like walking. Then I got to jog.
Yeah.
Then I got
and isn't that physical therapy on a knee just so fun?
The most fun you could ever have.
Yeah. I had meniscus torn back in 1980.
Oh, you know exactly.
And that's back when they did the old half moon thing, and you were in a full leg cast and all that. And then I had knee replacement 5 years ago on the same knee, and it's like,
how you holding up?
I'm doing great now. In fact, my wife will tell you it's the best thing I ever did for myself physically.
Nice.
Yeah, be able to get down. I can actually look under the bed if something's fallen.
Oh, amazing.
Don't need to send out a crew. Mary Rogers, what challenges you, not just as dance, but coming up with things to choreograph on your own?
I would say in terms of Headlights, the choreographing, in the studio, it seems to come pretty quickly for all of us because it is such a collaborative nature. So let's say, it's Quaba's turn to have some kind of idea. Maybe he brings something halfway, and then Maddy says, "Oh, and then what if we go into this after?" So yeah, in terms of choreographing in the studio, it seems to move along pretty quickly. But in general, I would say similar to what Quaba said, yeah, dance is, it is physical and it's mental as well. So on the days that maybe one of those aspects isn't 100%, it is just powering through. Yeah.
Always great to see what the outcome is then too.
Mm-hmm.
And what about Maddy, when you make that, as Mary just mentioned, it goes pretty smoothly in the studio. Then you get that transition out into, and not always necessarily a level stage.
Yeah. We've definitely danced on some inclines, and that changes a lot. It also really changes, like when we dance in socks or bare feet and then we put our sneakers on. That can change a lot of movements.
True.
Something we always say too in the rehearsal space is we don't have to be married to anything that we made. So even when it comes time to the show, if we're like, we don't feel safe doing that, we don't want to do it, the energy doesn't feel right, we want to do something else, we can scratch everything we have made and fall back on another idea, even if it's last minute. The most important is that everyone who's dancing and performing feels safe. Because that also brings up just a whole level of safety for the audience as well. Watching a dancer fall, it makes you freak out, and it's dangerous for the dancer. So we just, just vibing, just moving, I'm saying vibing a lot,
That's okay. It's a
just
good vibe.
vibes. It's just good vibes, right? Yeah. But just a level of trust in general.
Mary and Quaba, you've been here before as part of Headlights.
Mm-hmm.
But what about when Maddy came to you with this idea? Hey, let's, we're doing this thing outside, in parking lots, cornfields, wherever we can be.
I was on board right away. It was the height of the pandemic. I had just moved back from Canada, had done not a lick of dancing, was trapped indoors. There was protests on the street. Maddy was like, want to come dance? There's going to be a show. It's going to be
South
COVID
Dakota.
safe. I was like, I'll be there. Tell me when.
Yeah, definitely during season 1 and season 2, when we were first starting off, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunities at that time for dancers to perform live. So I think most dancers and performers were very eager during that time just to move and have a live performance. I mean, that was very special. And the way also Headlights has evolved throughout the seasons, I mean, our first show was very DIY. We didn't really know everything we were getting into. And now, seeing it 4 seasons later, just the following that we have, what we've been able to accomplish, the permits we've been able to get, the crowds we've been able to reach, and our collaborators, it's amazing. And that has a lot to do with also the community in Sioux Falls and how supportive everybody has been here.
All right, Maddy, going to go back to you for one thing, because you had said earlier that, talent is one thing, but if I really like to hang with you, it's even better. Yeah. Where do they fall on these lines?
Secrets. No, they're fabulous.
Yeah.
I tell them as much as I possibly can, I like working with people who are smarter than me, who inspire me, who make me laugh, who make me second guess my own choices in a way that's really supportive. And they challenge me to be a better human, to be a better dancer, a better creative. Yeah, and we can just be silly.
And that goes both ways.
Definitely.
Yeah. Right back at you, Maddy.
Yeah, but
what is she like as a leader of a group?
It really is truly as collaborative as we're all making it out to be. And when we're all in the studio together, there really isn't this feeling of hierarchy, or Maddy does ask us to be a part of the project, but yeah, once we're in the space, it's very much just we're all creating this show together.
All right.
Yeah.
I always like to finish up with 2 questions. The first question sometimes determines whether we need to ask the second one. So we'll start with you, Quaba. And when you are not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
And it can't be art related.
No, it can be
Oh,
art
it can
related.
be art
Yes.
related. What do I like to be entertained by? That's not my own craft. I love a well done musical, a good play as well. I like Hayao Miyazaki's like animated films. Those are really great. Prime entertainment. Comedy shows.
Okay.
If you got the right people there. Entertainment.
Yeah.
I really do dance for entertainment,
Yeah.
and I produce music for entertainment.
Oh, there you go.
And-
All right. So then, any other hobbies?
I am working on a show that's similar to something called Tiny Desk, which is like some in-studio
Seated, yeah.
performances
Yeah.
that we do out of like a studio that I have in Brooklyn for a company called Ernest Records, and that is like, it absorbs my life, entertains me. I watch live performances in the studio and get to support local artists.
Right.
So that's my go-to.
That's a great thing to be doing. Thank you. All right, Mary. So when you're not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
I love a good show, binge-worthy show.
What you binging lately?
I started this Spanish show on Netflix called Cable Girls. I'm trying to learn Spanish, so it's helping me. But beside that, I do like to see like as many other live performances as I can. I try and see like one live performance a week, I would say, which in New York is very possible.
Right.
There's a lot going on.
How about other hobbies then?
Other hobbies, not hobbies necessarily. I like to read. I spend most of my free time outside in nature. I love to go to the park, but not really any other specific hobbies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Maddy, you were a veteran at answering this question.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I also had a little bit of time to think about it as they were talking. But things I like to do when I'm not the one creating it, like they both said, seeing live performances. Right. There's nothing like it. Love watching Netflix in my bed. Nothing like it. But I love walking around, taking hikes in nature. Also, when I'm traveling, like looking at architecture, I love a good building. Like looking at architecture, I just think is really, really fascinating, along with like home decorating. I don't know. I think it speaks a lot about a person when you can step into their home and see their personality.
True.
Yeah, and then
you step into this studio.
Oh my gosh! And I
what's going on here?
I absolutely love it. You know, it shows the personality beautifully.
Good.
Yeah, and then in terms of hobbies, well, I've done this thing where I've accidentally turned all my hobbies into a way I can also make a little bit of money, which I think is fabulous. But I make journals out of reused and recycled materials, which I sell on Etsy. I also crochet and knit and embroider. I've done a few paintings as well. But one thing I don't do for money and I just do for myself is I found a really beautiful film camera. So I've started to take some photos. The only thing is I didn't realize how expensive getting your film. What?
Film?
Yeah. I didn't realize how expensive it was to get it developed.
Yeah.
So I have all of these rolls that are just not developed. So I'm just taking photos and forgetting about them for
I just bought
a long time.
An old 35 millimeter myself.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so much fun. It's really, really fun.
Well, it's been fun having the three of you.
Oh,
and
it's been
so
so
tell
fun.
people time, place,
Yes.
the whole works, because
Well,
it's like a day-long
It's
festive.
a day-long thing, and it's literally a partnership between so many different organizations. So we are collaborating with Let's Skate, which is a fabulous organization in Sioux Falls. We are hosting a block party called Sock the Block. Bring some extra socks that you have. We're donating them to a Veterans Outreach and the VA hospital. The event starts at 1 p.m. and the block party goes to about 7. You can bring your skateboard, you can have some burgers, you can have some yummy drinks. There's gonna be some merch for sale. Just a lot of people from the community coming together. And then the block party not only the block party doesn't technically end at 7 because then our show starts at 8. So we encourage everyone to RSVP on our website, which is headlightstheater.com. It's donation based, so whatever you are willing to give, we just want to make art accessible to everyone in the community. Kids enter for free. Show starts at 8 and it goes until 9. And then after the fabulous, wonderful, incredible show, we are having an after party at Hello High, and they actually made a signature cocktail for Headlights. 100% of the proceeds go to Headlights, and the drink is called Lights Out. It's celebrating our season 4 finale, but don't let the name fool you. Lights are not completely out because we are 1,000% coming back for season 5.
Oh, we like to hear that. All right. Maddy Elliott, Mary Rogers, and Quaba Ernest, thank you all for taking some time out to be on the Dave Holly Hour. Certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics inside Oscar's Mini Storage. Bisque, studio time, painting parties, and finished items are available. Visit TJS Ceramic Studio in Sioux Falls today.
He's jazzed to the eyeballs. Once again, here's Dave Hawley. Crikey, mate.
Thanks again to all our guests, Adam Jungers and Maddy Elliott, Mary Rogers and Quaba Ernest. As always, the biggest thanks goes to you for listening and for the downloads, for sharing and following on social media, and the cups of coffee. If you haven't so far, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. For all 198 episodes, just go online, DaveHollyHour.com. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, my name is Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by TJS Ceramics Studio, Posh Boutique, The Sky & Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, simply buy Dave a cup of coffee. Go to DaveHollyHour.com and click on the coffee cup icon. Don't forget to stay up to date on the show by following on Instagram and Facebook. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.